Japanese fairy tale Momotaro. Once upon a time, there lived an old man and an old woman. They lived happily together, but they felt lonely because they had no children. One day, the grandfather went to the mountains to cut bushes. And the grandmother went to the river to wash clothes. One day, Grandpa went to the mountains to cut some brush. And Grandma went to the river to wash her clothes. I've never seen such a big peach. I have never seen such a big peach. The grandmother took the peach home and decided to cut it with her grandfather. As soon as they put the knife in, a cheerful boy jumped out from inside. Oh, my God! The grandfather and grandmother were surprised, but happy to have a child. They named the boy Momotaro and decided to take good care of him. Momotaro grew up quickly and eventually became a powerful and kind-hearted young man. His reputation spread throughout the village, and he became a person on whom everyone relied. One day, he heard that demons were rampaging through the village and causing people to suffer. I will go and exterminate the ogres myself. Momotaro made up his mind and said goodbye to his grandfather and grandmother. Momotaro, killing ogres is a dangerous thing. How relieved I would be if you didn't go. Momotaro's grandmother said with tears in her eyes, afraid to let go of Momotaro, whom she had raised like a son. Grandpa furrowed his brow and nodded quietly. But I can't leave the ogre who torments the villagers alone. I am strong and I will be fine. Momotaro replied emphatically. Grandpa and Grandma felt their hearts tighten at his words. But they realized that his resolve was unshakable. He said, well, your mind is already made up. Grandpa took a deep breath and looked at Grandma. Then at least eat well and build up your strength, he said. Here, I made you some sweet dumplings to take with you. With trembling hands, the old woman handed Momotaro the wrapped kibidango. Momotaro, be careful. If you are ever in trouble, remember the village. The two men saw Momotaro off with expressions of mixed anxiety and pride. On his journey, Momotaro met a dog, a monkey, and a pheasant. They asked, Momotaro-san, where are you going? We are going to Onigashima Island to exterminate ogres. Then, if you give me some millet dumplings, I will go with you. Momotaro shared the kibidango with the dog, monkey, and pheasant. And they became his companions. The friends set out for Onigashima Island, making use of their special skills. After crossing steep mountains and wide rivers, they finally arrived at Onigashima. When they arrived at Onigashima, they found that it was inhabited by terrifying ogres. Momotaro and his friends joined forces to confront the demons. The dog bit the ogre's legs, the monkey scratched their backs, and the pheasant poked the ogre's eyes out with its beak. Momotaro also defeated the ogres one after another with his own strength. Finally, the chief ogre gave up. I will never do anything bad again. Please forgive me. Momotaro decided to spare the demons' lives if they promised to do so. The ogres offered their treasure, and Momotaro and his friends took it back to their village. When they returned to the village, Momotaro shared the treasure with the villagers. The villagers were overjoyed and the village became rich. Grandfather and grandmother were also very happy to see Momotaro's return. Well done, Momotaro. Welcome back, I'm glad you are safe. The grandmother hugged Momotaro tightly and said over and over again with tears in her eyes, "You really came back well." The grandfather was so moved that he patted Momotaro on the shoulder. With tears in his eyes, the people of the village gathered around Momotaro and cheered. "Momotaro, thank you. Thanks to you, our village is now at peace." The children looked up at Momotaro and said, "When I grow up, I will be just like Momotaro." Their eyes lit up. A feast was held in the village to celebrate Momotaro's return, and everyone enjoyed the meal with smiles on their faces. The grandfather and grandmother looked at Momotaro with happiness and said, "We are so happy that you came back. We are so happy that you have come back." Momotaro lived happily in the village. The end. The Japanese folktale Momotaro contains many lessons. Some of the main ones are: 1. Courage and justice. Momotaro sets out to conquer the ogres. This conveys the importance of correcting evil and doing what is right. 2. Cooperation with friends. On his journey, Momotaro joins a dog, a monkey, and a pheasant, and together they work to defeat the ogres. The lesson is that what is difficult to accomplish alone can be achieved through teamwork. 3. Effort and reward. After Momotaro defeats the ogre, he brings back his treasure and shares it with the villagers. This shows that hard work pays off, and that it is important not to keep your accomplishments to yourself, but to share them with those around you. 4. Filial piety. Momotaro returns the favor to his grandfather and grandmother after killing the ogres. This conveys the lesson that we should cherish our parents and elders. Thus, Momotaro is not just an adventure story, but also a story that conveys to children social values and a way of life.